Welcome to another video in this our R series of R Simplified. It's been a while we had any video dropped. Been a lot going on. So in this video, we're just quickly going to be talking about continue our discussion on data structures in R and why we did them. Because at the end of the day, the process is always you have your discussion, you get your data, you process your data, you clean your data, but then you need to structure your data in a way that R will understand and be able to manipulate it. So today we're going to be talking about matrices. If you're yet to see our last video, you can go ahead to our YouTube channel, youtube.com at Butterverse. Check all our series from part 1 to part 11, which is list. So today we'll talk about matrix. Is another kind of data structure in R. A matrix is a 2D structure where all elements are of the same type. So always take note of these particular words. Whenever you hear same type, that means a matrix is two-dimensional but can only hold the same type of data, maybe numbers or text or Boolean values, just of the same type, more like a container holding the same family of data. So it's more like a table with rows and columns. So a matrix has rows and column, and it can be created with the matrix function in R, where you can specify your number of rows and number of columns as parameters. So let's go straight into it. So we have the number of rows and number of columns. These are parameters that we can specify when creating our matrix. So let's have our first matrix. I'll call it my matrix, and my matrix should be a matrix, more like how the structure is of concatenated atomics of maybe um, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have two parameters, n row and n column. Let's set n row, for example. N row should, it's always an integer number, and uh, n column. That's number of rows and number of columns should be 2. If I try to preview this matrix and see what I have at the end of the day, I can go ahead and do my matrix. And okay, so I'm here to add this. I've been coding in Python all this while, so coming back to R, I just need to follow the syntax. So this gave me a matrix of what? A 2 by 3 matrix. That means 3 rows, 3 observations, and 2 columns. 3 by a 2 by a 3 by 2. So you count rows will come before column. 3 by 2. You know how you create tables in Microsoft Word and ask you for number of rows and columns. Same thing. So this is a 3 by 2 matrix. What if I want it to be maybe a 2 by 2? What do we get at the end of the day? You see the difference. This is a 2 by 2 matrix. So counting your matrix is same thing you know in mathematics. So this gave us 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You broke it here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So let's move. So let's go to a much more practical example instead of just using numbers. Let's say we want a collection, or you want to structure a collection of books or fruits or food item into some sort of, let's even say books. So I go ahead and do my books. I want to structure my books in a way that there will be a matrix so I can determine my rows and my columns for my books. Of atomic, a collection of my books will go here. My number of rows will go here, and my number of row will go here. And let's say a 2 by 2 or a 3 by 2 matrix should do. So if it's this is a 2 and number of column should be 2 as well. So we want to have a matrix of, let me have 4 books. 1, 2. Remember, 3. The catch is same type. So just that word same type gives us a clear picture of what a matrix is and what we can get out of it. So Um, Facebook, I think I have, let's say we have a machine learning book. Then we have Journey to the Center of the Earth. Um, then we have another book called, maybe, I used to like this book, um, Oliver Twist. Then, yes, there's a lovely book I loved then back in secondary school. I think we call it Passport of Malam Ilya, if I'm not mistaken. I just hope I still remember that book. So we have all of this book and we're going to add it to our object and then convert it into a metric. So automatically our object know that this is a metric that consists of characters. The first one consists of just integer numbers. So if I go ahead and do my books and I run this as my books, you can see it gave me a 2 by 2 matrix. The first column of the books returned machine learning and Johnny 2. The second column of the book returns Oliver Twist and Passport of Malam Ilya. So I took an atomic and structured it into a metric. So, and that is the whole idea of data structure. You just kind of have to arrange or position the data in a pattern or manner that you can interact with it and use it. So, but then as soon as we have a structure, we start thinking about how can we access the item in the structure. Let's try out something. Let's say automatically we wanted to look for from my books, which is a matrix now. We can only access it with a square bracket too. Let's say we want the first one. What does it bring out? You can see it gave us machine learning. So what if I want 1, 2? What do we get? It returned Oliver Twist. Do you know what is going on right now? When I say my books, 1, it will go to the first row and try to return the first item. And that's why we are saying machine learning. If I say my book, 1 on the first row, give me the second item, it will return Oliver Twist. What if I want every observation on that particular row? I do this. You can see row 1 has machine learning and Oliver Twist as a row. From what we have at the top, you can see on row 1, machine learning and Oliver Twist. So what if I want to do have the last item in my matrix? Let me print it out again so it's clear to us. I want to access passport of Malam Ilya from this matrix. It's as easy as saying from my books matrix, I want to go to uh, the second row and give me the second item. And automatically you can see we have the passport of Malam Ilya. So one thing about data structure before we move into the next one is once you're able to structure your data into a particular kind of structure that you need to it to be, so you should be able to interact with it. So choose the right data structure for the right tasks that you have at hand. You can check the items in your metrics. You can loop through the items in your metrics. You can, of course, using the for loop, watch our video on for loop. You'll be able to loop through the items in metrics. You can check if a particular item is existing within your metrics. That's something else that you can do. You can also go ahead and access a whole row or a whole column, and you can do a whole lot of things with metrics. So again, we've had a long journey till this point. We covered a whole lot of things from part 1. This is our 12th part, I guess. Yeah, this is part 12 of this video. So the next video is going to be on arrays. So we can go to data frames and factors. Then we can start using R for real life scenarios and solving real life problems. So again, understand this. Data come in its raw form, its dirty form, you clean, you process. Before you begin to analyze or do some machine learning tasks, you need to structure data. So, and that's why we are discussing some data structures in R. So, see you in the next video and bye for now.